Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. So welcome to this second episode of The Great Vision of Vedanta. We are looking into this text called Manah Sodhanam, written by Pujya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda Ji, and it is based on the Srimad Bhagavatam, the ways to purify the mind, a conversation between Narada and Yudhishthira. So there's a part of it in this text, but the main text is a composition by Pujya Guruji on what is exactly yesterday what we saw up to 7 verses. This supreme is blissful, it is Advaya. There is no parts to it. There is no duality in that. It is only one. Then it is present everywhere and in everything. Every being, you can access this supreme truth. But it is not accessible to all. This supreme truth is not known to us, one thing. And the other thing is, another thing that is not known to us along with it is the impurities of mind. These two are not known. The supreme truth can be known by knowledge. This ignorance of the truth will go away by knowledge of the truth. The knowledge thought can drive away the ignorant thought, like how light can drive away darkness. But with the impurities of mind, the desire even to know the truth will not happen. And even if the desire comes, and even if there is some kind of an understanding also, that understanding will be very shaky. It will not stay for a long time because the impurities of the mind will disturb the thought pattern and will bring you back into routine life, mundane life, whatever it is. So the desire will not come. Even if the desire comes, we will not be able to be established in it. So the 5th verse says, so to be established in it, Dridha Nishtayaka Siddhyartham, what is it dependent on? Manashuddhihi Apekshita. It is dependent on the purification of mind. And so, Yatantam Sadaka Sarve, Manashuddhihi Manashuddhikaraniha. Sorry, the 6th verse is Dridha Nishtayaka Siddhyartham, Manashuddhir Apekshita, Tadartham Sadakaha Sarve, Yatantam Dridha Nishchayaha. So this establishment in that truth, being firm, being steady in that one thought of the truth is one, is dependent on the purity of mind. So therefore, work towards being established in that one thought, meaning work towards purification of mind on a daily basis. So there are many parts to purification of mind. We saw that yesterday. Yajna is collective activity. When everybody is engaged in activity together, when people are all working together for one cause, then the mind is purified. Morning and night, it's a very difficult thing. Morning and night, we have to work together towards that. That's yajna. Dhanam is giving in charity. Tapaha is austerities. Today is the Mahasamadhi day of Tapovan Maharaj. And tapas itself means austerity. Tapas means that austerity itself is Brahman, that state of being one, truth. Japaha, the constant chanting of the name of the Lord in any form that we like is called japa. It protects the mind from wavering and wandering and falling off into habitual ways that are not going to serve us. Japa. Tirtham, going to holy places, is also a very lovely way of quietening the mind and purifying the mind. Vrataha. Vrata is taking up some austerities. All these ways. But everything is actually to do with the outside. You need some outside setting. For example, to do yajna, you need so many props. You need so many objects. Then you need the cooperation of a lot of people. Then you need to know the process. You need to be a fit adhikari for that process to do yajna. Everybody cannot become an IAS officer or an IPS officer. They have to be an adhikari for that, and they will be granted that position where they can do the work. Even to become a teacher or to become a lawyer or to become a chartered accountant, you need to go through a process. In the same way, to do yajna also, you need to go through a process of learning how to do that and becoming a fit adhikari to do the yajna. Danam, you need a lot of money to give in charity. You need to have something to give in charity. Then tapas, it requires a lot of energy, the capacity to sustain, the capacity to consistently do something. Then we gain energy. And japa also, the mind should be focused at least on one name and one form on which we contemplate. And japa, like, it can look so easy. Just say Om Namah Shivaya. What is the big deal about that? No. When we are doing Purashcharana is like, suppose there is Om Namah Shivaya. There are 6 letters. Along with the Namah Shivaya, there is Om also. So totally 6 letters. A Purashcharana will be doing it for 6 lakh times in a particular period of time, offering it as japa with the mala, and offering it in the havan, and offering as an akshata. All these ways we have to do. And if we take up the proper rules of doing the japa, we will not have time for anything else during the day. We will just have to be able to eat and come and sit and do the japa, and then the body will actually, whatever tiredness is there, it take its own course. You have to do japa over many sessions to be able to complete it in that period of time. So nothing is very simple also, and it requires a lot of objects, people, and circumstances to do that. Tirtham, of course, we need places of worship, and places of worship have to be maintained by somebody, and everything, it is there, but still we need to go there to that place. We need to endure all the difficulties of going to that place and adjusting in new circumstances. So many difficulties are there. It is not just for the difficulties, it is just that the focus is more outside in all this. Whereas there is another way of quietening the mind and purifying the mind. What is that way? The verse 8 says, Vichara sadhanam shreshtham varnyatetra yathamati mahatvam tasya vai proktam krishnena swayamevahi vicharaha sadhanam shreshtham. The best among all the sadhanas is vichara. Visheshena chara. The movement of the thought is in a particular path. That is called vichara. Taking one thought and going on constantly thinking about this, thinking about that thought, contemplating on the meaning of that thought, contemplating on the nature of that thought, contemplating on the letters of that thought, the words of that thought, and their meaning, and not taking the mind away from those 3 things. That is called vichara. Sadhanam Shreshtam. That is the best among all the means. So when I want to go to Delhi from Chennai, there are many means. I can go by walk. I can take a cycle rickshaw. I can take an auto rickshaw. It is not possible. It is not allowed to go from one place to another so easily. Traffic rules don't permit that. So then I can go in a bullock cart to Delhi. Possible. Many sadhanas are there. Then I can go by ship, I can go by train, I can go by bus, I can go by flight also. So when you consider all these means of transport to reach Delhi from Chennai, what is the best means is a flight, because the going time is very less. You can reach Delhi very fast. In the same way, the best sadhana to purify the mind is vichara. There are many sadhanas, but vichara is the best sadhana. Vichara means thinking, contemplating on something. What is that something is going to be said in another few verses. Shreshtam varnyate atra Yathamati, I am going to say here, Pujya Guruji says, I am talking about it, Yathamati, as I understand about this vichara, I am going to talk here about it. Who also has said about that? Mahatvam tasya vai proktam Krishnena swayamevahi. Bhagavan Shri Krishna has also spoken about the greatness of this sadhana called vichara. Vichara means thought process, contemplation, thinking about something. In the verse 9, what is Bhagavan Shri Krishna told? It is there in the Bhagavad Gita, that's being repeated here with a little slight variation. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate bahavo jnana tapasa putamadbhavamagataha. There is no variation in the shloka, but the first line of one shloka and the second line of another shloka have been compiled here. Nahi jnanena sadrisham. Not jnana, not indeed like jnana, pavitram, that which is very pure, na vidyate, it is not known here, something that is as pure as jnana, something that is as pure as knowledge. Meaning purity here means one-pointedness. If you get the knowledge of something, then the mind does not shake after that. There is no doubt, there is no worry, there is no anxiety. The mind becomes steady. So that is called jnana. Like thought, like a steady thought of the reality, there is nothing that is as purifying. Na vidyate. It is not pavitram. Pavitram means that which makes the mind very pure. Unlike jnana, nothing else is known. Bahavaha, many people, what have they done? Jnana tapasa puta. They have purified their mind through the tapasya, through the austerity of knowledge, through the austerity of jnana, jnana yoga. Jnana yoga means collectively or individually thinking about that one thought about Brahman is jnana yoga. Puta, they have been purified their minds. And madbhavam agataha, they have come to my state of mind, my state, how I am, how I experience myself. They have all reached that same state, says Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. And those two lines are being repeated here. Two, we always like to listen to, when we want to do something, we want to listen to words of authority. When somebody is authoritative, is speaking about it, we like to listen to that. So this is being quoted here from in this verse 9. And verse 10 says, Etad bhagavato vakyam swatma shuddhyaika siddhaye vicharyate maya samyak Shri Harir me prasidatam. Pujya Guruji says here, Etad Bhagavato Vakyam. These are the words of Bhagavan. Which are the words of Bhagavan? Which Bhagavan? Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Which are the words? Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. There's nothing so purifying as knowledge. And many people have taken this path of jnana tapas or the austerity of thinking. You know, it's a very big austerity. Just to give you an example, you should not think you should think only something positive today. If you just take up such a sankalpa, it is going to be a very, very difficult thing, because the moment I say I want to think something positive, the negative thought will come and sit in my mind. And the negative thought, if I am not aware, if I don't have the power, if I cannot control that, the negative thought will take away the space of this positive thought, and I will forget my sankalpa, and I will start doing my regular work as I have been doing at any point of time. So, Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavam Agata. They have reached my state of being by practicing this Jnana Tapas. And Vicharyate Maya Samyak. Shri Harir me Prasidatam. Shri Hari is Bhagavan. May he be pleased. I have contemplated on this. I means Guruji is saying, Swami Tejomayananda Ji is saying, I have contemplated on this. May Shri Hari be pleased. Etat Bhagavataha Vakyam. These are the words of Bhagavan. The previous verse. For what? Swa Atma Shuddha Ekasiddhaye. Swa Atma means one's own self. Here the Atma is not the supreme I, supreme truth. That is always pure. We don't need to do anything to make it pure. But here the Atma refers to the mind. My own mind, Eka Shuddhaye, the one means to purify my mind. I take up this process of vichara. So I am going to think. What am I going to think? We can think anything. We can think of what we like. We can think of some movie. We can think about politics. We can think about the way this world is going. We can think what is the best way to earn a lot of money. So many things we can think. Or we can think something about some person who has been giving us trouble, and why is this person giving us trouble? Why am I suffering? Or what is all this all about? Either we are thinking about ourselves, or we are thinking about others. Either we are thinking something good about ourselves and good about others, or something bad about ourselves or bad about others. Either we are thinking about objects, some objects we are thinking about some circumstances, we are thinking about forms, we are thinking about sounds, we are thinking about smells, we are thinking about tastes, we are thinking about feelings, we are thinking about behaviors, we are thinking about emotions, and we are thinking about different beliefs or different thought patterns, or we are thinking about arguments, a whole gamut of all this objects, people, circumstances on the outside, and inside the whole gamut of our mind, whatever is going on, we are thinking about the pain in our body, the different sensations that we experience within. All these are all thoughts. We think about them. But what should I think about? Why should I think? Contemplation is a very beautiful way of purifying the mind. And Pujya Guruji, he gives some very interesting steps here. We want to think in the right way. For example, I'm drinking coffee. I want to remove this habit of drinking coffee by contemplating on it. So what should I do? Be intensely conscious. It is an impurity of the mind, means whatever is good, the impurity is decided by two things. One is prayas and the other is shreyas. Prayas means instant gratification. Temporarily it gives me joy. Shreyas means something that is very good for me and very good for everybody also at the same time. For the good for the whole world. For example, coffee is prayas. Good health is shreyas. Good health everybody wants, but coffee only I like, and some people like me also like coffee. So when I have some thoughts which are not so good for me and I want to do away with it, or some habits, what should I do? Be intensely conscious of the impurities of mind. See the implications and consequences of them. If I'm going on in this way, if I go on, get up late, what if I get up late? Today I'm getting up late by 1 hour. Tomorrow, what if I get up 2 hours late? Day after tomorrow, what if I get 3 hours late? Then the next day, 4 hours late, 5 hours late, 6 hours late. For 1 month, if I'm getting late, what are the consequences? For 2 months, if I'm getting up late, what are the consequences? These are all very, very important. The whole text is very beautiful, but these small nuggets of what we can do to quieten our mind, what we can do to come out of our habits are very, very interesting. So 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, if I'm getting up late for so many hours, what are the consequences in my life? For 1 year, I do that. For 2 years, for 3 years, for 5 years, for 10 years, if I'm going to do this, what are the consequences? And you show that consequence to your mind. You show the consequence to your brain. The brain will get a shock. And then it will start helping you to mend the ways. So be intensely conscious, first of all. Be aware. Recognize and accept, yes, there is a problem. And I do not know what to do about it. I do not know whether I will be able to solve it, but I at least acknowledge that there is a problem. And then see the consequences of the problem and bring it to your thought process, bring it to your awareness, the consequences. Understand the consequences in totality. When I'm getting late, I have to go to an important function where 1,000 people are sitting to listen to me, and to that program I show up late. What are the consequences? What are the traffic jam? What are all the irritation in the people's minds? If it is a ticketed program, then what are all the consequences of the organizers of the program, the event management team? What are the consequences? You can just think about it like anything, in any way you can think, like taking a movie. That's what these movies are actually made up of. The movies are all, it's a lovely medium of communication where it can help us all to grow. But what is actually movies doing is they're glorifying all these negativities, they're expanding them and making us see for 3 hours and all that. Understand them in their totality, and then do not justify or glorify the impurities of mind. When you know something is not okay, do not say yes, it is good, I have done the right thing. No, if you want to change, then this. If you don't want to change, there is no problem. But if you really want to change, don't say it is great, don't say it is wonderful, don't justify it, don't say chalta hai, that's okay, everybody is like that, the whole world is like that. These are all justifications we give to some habit or some thought pattern or some behavior that we, or some desire or some feeling that we don't want, we want to change, but we don't do anything about it, and we keep it, we praise it, we justify it, and we glorify it. If we do that, we are not going to achieve the purpose. So this is just an aside which is there in this book, very beautiful, because it helps us to know what we need to do. So what are the impurities of mind? The next question is, before I want to remove something, I should know what I want to remove. If I want to clean the room, I should know what is it that is there, whether it is dust or whether it is wastes are scattered all around, or whether it is I have to mop and wipe everything. What is the nature of the waste that I have to remove? We have to know that first. So in the same way, we have to know what is the nature of the impurities of the mind. रागद्वेषादयः कामः क्रोधलोभादयोऽपि च अहङ्कारस्तथा स्वार्थो विविधा मनसो malaha. Vividha, many types. Manaso malaha. What are the different types of impurities? Raga. Raga means attachment. I am crazy about something. I am attached to something. I am going on thinking about that. I am not able to let go. That is raga. The opposite of raga is dvesha. Actually, if I'm attached to one thing, it's very dangerous, because I have detachment or I have hatred towards everything else other than that thing. That is what raga and dvesha. They are two opposites. Raga, dvesha, adayaha means etc. Raga, dvesha. For example, in the Yoga Sutras also we have the impurities: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Avidya means ignorance. They are kleshas, they give us trouble. Avidya is ignorance of who I am. Asmita is the thought of I am great, I am the only person, I am only doing everything, there's nobody else other than me who can do this. This is all asmita. Then raga is attachment to something. Dvesha is hatred for something. Abhinivesha is fear of life, fear of losing our life, fear of change in circumstances, fear that money will go away, fear that relationship will go away, fear that friendship will disappear, fear that I will forget something. So many fears we have. The most important fear is fear of death. So there is abhinivesha. Kama is intense desire for something, something very big that we desire. Krodha means anger. Lobha is greed. This kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsya, there are 6 things. They're called shad ripus, or 6 enemies. Very, very interesting. Kama is the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. What is desire? It is what is the ladder of fall is being described. It's very beautiful. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. A being is contemplating on an object, on a thought or a desire, on a feeling, an emotion, or on an action, or on an object, or on a circumstance, or on a person. Dhyayataha. Vishaya. Vishaya means thought. Everything else, object is Vishaya, but in us, it is experience as thought. Dhyayato Vishayan. I am going on putting my attention on one thought. Then what happens? Sangasteshu upajayate. The thought also attracts me, and I also attract the thought, and we both become one. Me and the thought becomes one. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. Sangasteshu upajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. With this attachment, what happened? Kama, or desire to be one with that always, is happening. Then kamat krodhaha abhijayate. Somebody is coming and pulling the hands apart, pulling the thought, pulling me and the object of my desire apart. No? Kamat krodhaha abhijayate. When it is pulled apart, or even when it is coming towards me, and I am somebody else comes and pushes it away from me, my the desire for this object turns towards that person or the obstacle as anger. Kamat is a very I have not read such a beautiful explanation for desire and anger and the ladder of fall anywhere in any text so far. It's such a beautiful description. Kama krodhaha abhijayate. Then what happens? I get angry. The river of desire turns into the flood of anger at some other object, not the object of my. I leave the object of my desire and I turn towards somebody else who's coming as an obstacle. Kama krodhaha abhijayate. Like the Hangho river, the river of sorrow, it changes direction and it starts flowing there in China. Kamat krodhaha abhijayate. Then what happens if the energy shifts into some other direction? Krodhat, what happens? Bhavati some mohaha. There is a Aikido, there is a game, there's this martial art. So in that Aikido martial art, one way of conquering the opponent is when the opponent is punching, you stand there steadily on the opposite side. The opponent is taking all the energy and going to give you a punch. You don't counter the opponent by giving another punch. You just move out of the place. Here what happens is there's another obstacle there. This krodha with all force is going on that obstacle. What happens? There is delusion. The krodha gets hit because the opponent so the opponent is coming to punch you and you don't retaliate with another punch. You just quietly move away. What happens? The opponent will fall flat on his face with his own power. That is what happens to krodha. Buddha said anger is like taking poison and expecting somebody else to die. It is not possible. So it affects us only first. It may create an impact on the other person depending on their state of mind, but the first impact is caused on us. So krodha bhavati sam mohaha. I get completely deluded. Deluded means too many thoughts in the head, overthinking, anxiety, worry, stress, all the negative thought patterns that we don't want to have are all called moha. Moha means delusory thoughts. We will not get a clear thought about anything. We don't get a clear picture about anything. Moha means delusory thinking. Identified with the body, the physical, I am the body, is called moha. Krodha bhavati sam moha means very clearly you get identified with the body. You get identified as, when you're identified as a body, the tone changes, the thought patterns change, the expressions of the face change, the emotions change, the behavior changes, everything changes when you identify yourself as the body. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha. When I'm identified with the body, what happens to my memories? Memories are the storehouse of the good and bad thoughts in me. And I should always be having a focus on my storehouse, because I will not know from what time what thought is going to come and how the disturbance is going to happen in my life. So when that attention goes away, it is a great danger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat. When my memory collapses, when all the thoughts, the storehouse of thoughts, everything gets jumbled up, and I'm not able to see clearly for what is what. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramshat buddhi nashaha. My buddhi, or the capacity to bring on pure thought forms all the time, is called buddhi. Like constantly gurgling like a stream of goodness, a gurgling like a flow of goodness, offering into the world and purifying myself and purifying the world, is called buddhi, the thought forms. That will get destroyed because there is impurity inside. Like it is like the river gets completely polluted. Buddhi nashat pranashyati, prakarshena nashyati. Everything collapses in our life when the buddhi gets destroyed. So this is a verse from the Bhagavad Gita to talk about what is where the anger will lead us to. Interestingly, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya in Bhaja Govindam has sung one verse. It's very famous. Sat Sangat, this is a ladder of rice. Sat Sangatve Nisangatvam Nisangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nishchalatatvam Nishchalatatve Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means life is there, and life is attached to something. It is attached to thought, it is attached to feeling, it is attached to emotions, it is attached to situations, it is attached to circumstances, it is attached to the outcome. So many attachments are there in life. Jivan Mukti means life is existing and everything else is not connected with that. Life is existing freely, joyously, happily. That's called Jivan Mukti. Here also the word moha is coming. But in the dhyayato vishayan pumsaha, the moha is the delusion of I am the body. Here, when I am in satsanga, when I'm in a good community, when I'm in a good ecosystem, when I'm in a good environment plays a very, very, very important role. How much ever I want to be fit, how much ever I want to develop good habits, how much ever I want to do lovely things in this world, I'm not going to achieve anything all by myself. I need a very, very good supportive environment. Pressure of doing what I really wish to achieve. So satsangatve nissangatvam. When I'm in satsanga, when I'm in a good community, when I'm in a good ecosystem, when I'm in a good environment, I will be nissanga. I will be detached from my thoughts. I will not have my compulsive thoughts with me. I will be generally participating with everybody, doing something very beautiful, achieving something great, being congratulated or congratulating others. So our life will be very dynamic in a sangha. Then I will have nissanga, means I will be detached from my thoughts. When I'm detached from my own thoughts, means automatic negative thoughts, when I'm detached from, nisangatve nirmohatvam, there is no delusion. I am very, very clear that I am not this body. There's a very beautiful song sung by Samskrita Bharati. मृदपि च चन्दनमस्मिन् देशे ग्रामो ग्रामः सिद्धवनं यत्र च बालादेवी स्वरूपा बाला सर्वे श्रीरामाः बाला सर्वे श्रीरामाः. The first line, first verse of the song. There's a very beautiful song. There's a very beautiful verse which talks about warriors in this country. It's talking about Bharata Desha. Yatra cha naiva swadeha vimoha yuddharatanam viranam yatra हि कृषकः कार्यरतः सन् पश्यति जीवन साफल्यम्. Pashyati Jivana Sapalyam. If I want my life to be fruitful, Yatracha Naiva Swadeha Vimoha. In this country, Swadeha, one's own body, there is no delusion that I am this body. So they just simply don't care about the body. If it has to target the enemy, even if they are standing in the battlefield, they are going to kill, the body will be killed by bullets. They don't care and they daringly go forward. That is the power of vimoha, being free of the delusion that I am the body. And then in our daily action also, yatra hi krishakaha karyaratasan. If I'm attached to the body, I will procrastinate, I will be lazy, I will shove it aside, I will push it away, I will avoid it, I will give the job on subcontract to somebody. I will leave the job on lease to somebody else. I will not do it. Why I don't do it is I am attached to the body and I want to be in the comfortable state of mind that work will be disturbing me. If I don't have this moha, yatra hi krishakaha karyaratasan. All the farmers are engaged in their action. So that is the beauty of this country. So vimoha is a very, very important quality, very important value that we need to cultivate in our life, being free of delusion. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam. I will be free of the delusion that I am the body. Then what happens? Nirmohatve nischalatatvam. My mind becomes free. So mind, the impurity of the mind called moha is gone. And the mind becomes detached from that moha, the mind becomes steady. Nirmohatvam, nischalatatvam. Then if the mind becomes steady, what is it called? Jivan muktihi. The mind and the consciousness are detached from each other. It is like, there is no charge. There is no charge in the mind. There should be a positive charge and a negative charge. The consciousness has a positive charge. And when the mind has negative charge, it is attached to so many things that are there. It is very sticky. Then consciousness and mind are one. When the moha is gone, when the delusion is gone, the charge gets discharged and automatically there is like north pole, the same like poles repel in a magnet, they become like poles. Samya avastha. Consciousness and the mind become equal in nature and they are not attached to each other. They are just existing as they are. That is the beauty. So, krodhat bhavati, ragadveshadaya kama, krodha lobha. So, kama is the desire, krodha is anger. If kama is fulfilled, if desire is fulfilled, then I want more of it. If I have one chocolate and I get that one, if I desire one chocolate and I get that one chocolate, I am not going to be satisfied with that. Law of diminishing returns in economics. I am going to ask for another chocolate. That is how our addiction patterns happen. I ask for another chocolate and another chocolate. If there are 50 chocolates, if there is nobody to tell me not to eat anything, I can even eat 20, how much ever I want. You just go on gobbling because that is the nature of karma. Karma will never get fulfilled. How many ever lifetimes we may be living with that desire, it will only go on increasing. There are many stories from the Mahabharata also to prove this, like how desire keeps increasing, karma. When karma is there, fulfilled, then there is lobha. Lobha means greed. We talk about it in the form of corruption everywhere in this world. We are talking about many things that happen on account of greed. So when desire is fulfilled, it becomes greed. When desire is obstructed, it becomes, when there is krodha, which is obstruction of desire, it becomes moha or delusion. And then there is arrogance. When karma is completely fulfilled, I've got, it is my way or the highway. There is nothing else to stop me in this world. Then I become mamata. I become so arrogant. Mother means like whatever, like all these dictatorships are there. At any level it can happen. It can happen at the ordinary level also. It can happen at the level of governments also. Mother. Matsarya is another impurity of mind. Matsarya means matsara. I am here. Somebody else is much above than me. Somebody else is greater than me. Somebody else is achieved more than me. Somebody else is getting more money than me. Matsarya. And I feel, because of that, I feel very disturbed. I don't feel equal with that person, and that gives me a lot of disturbance. Matsarya. So these are all the impurities. Then you have ahamkara. Ahamkara is the same as mother. Ahamkara means I am the doing, I am the doer. It becomes so strong. The thought becomes strong that it is very irritating when people, they're filled with ahamkara. They make such boring conversationalists. You sit among them, for anything you say, I saw an accident. They will start saying, even I too saw an accident that day. You know what? I got the first rank. I too got first rank. For everything, they cannot leave the I and do any work. And to be sitting and talking with such people is a torture. So ahamkara, that's an impurity of mind. Tatha swartaha is being selfish, because there is ahamkara, because the I thought is there already. In whatever we are getting also, we want it for ourselves all the time. Swartaha, whatever we do it for ourselves. We do it for our own happiness, we do it for our own pleasure. We grab more of, when something is being distributed, a person with swartha will grab more than the share that can go to everybody, even without thinking about whether it is there for others. If it happens with mothers, usually when they finish the dinner, mothers take it upon them, they do it very happily, but everybody can be aware of that also, no? What is that? Like when something very tasty is there and there are so many children, there are other adults also. If everybody gets it and somebody gets more also, they take more also, and the mother will not have to have even one piece. The mother will be okay, but later on, at a point of time, when this sorrow of not getting what everybody is having around you, it accumulates, and the person becomes very bitter at the age of 50 and all that. So there are many topics related to this. Swartha, selfishness. Vividha manaso malaha. When we are free of impurities of mind, even in our own day-to-day life, at our homes, in our families, we can live a very happy life. And definitely, this purity of mind is important for self-realization. This verse 12, Ete sarve hi drishyante chitte chalati jagrati pralinam chayada chittam naite sham drishyate gatihi. So these qualities inside us, they don't, they are expressing themselves when the mind is in an active condition during daytime, waking state. Only during the waking state, these qualities are seen. Pralinam cha yada chittam. When the mind goes to rest at night, or even in meditation, or even when it is absorbed in some activity, even in some scientific experiment also, when the mind is completely absorbed, or it is absorbed in some music, or whatever activity, playing cricket or something, pralinam cha yada chittam, naitesham drishyate gatihi. You do not know the nature of these impurities of mind. Gatihi. And but for the vidwan, the one who knows the truth, the one who is a cultured person, the one who works on his own mind, the one who is constantly thinking about course correction, self correction, and behaving in the most best possible manner in the world outside, or doing sadhana on their own selves. They're called the vidwans, the knowledgeable people. Jagrat Jagratyapi cha vidvamsam pīdayanti na te tatha avidvamsam tat yatha lokam daya patram cha sarvada. So there are two people. One person is vidwan, the one who knows, the one who has that knowledge of the self, the one who has the knowledge of the different elements that constitute the human being, and the one who has the knowledge and is also engaged in practices and sadhanas to quieten the mind. Jagratyapi, even in waking state also, vidvamsam na pidayanti te tatha. They are not troubling the vidwan. These thoughts, they're like a, when there is one of my friend's house, when I went, she has a Dachshund dog. And when I went to her house, like I was shaky, I was a little afraid. Even though I was pretending to be, all steady and all that, that shakiness. So the dog was coming after me. She says you should walk in like an elephant. An elephant is not bothered about a dog. It like with so much of power, with so much of awareness. That is a vidwan. So jagratyapi cha vidvamsam pidayanti na te thata. These vasanas, these impurities of mind will not disturb the vidwan. But avidvamsam, the one who is not a vidwan, the one who does not, the knowing the truth, knowing the reality is our protection. It is our armor. It is our power. It is our truth. It is our authentic self. If I know that, that's a vidwan is one who knows the authentic self. He is not troubled by all these impurities of mind, even in the waking state also. But if the person does not know the true self, then lokam, yatha lokam, in this whole world, most of us are like that. Daya patram cha vartate. We are always in a place where everybody has to be, has to pity us. Oh my God, how sad. This person doesn't have, this person has got like, a difficult situation. Pity party. We become a pity party, is daya patram cha vartate. Why do we become a pity party? We do not know the truth. And so these impurities of mind will disturb us. These impurities of mind will get the better of us. So that's a victim mindset. We fall into the victim mindset and we crib and we complain and we worry, we feel anxious, we feel sorry, we feel we are in tears, we are in a state of desperation. We act out of desperation. We act out of a void feeling in us. We act out of a sense of lack. We don't act out of fullness and prosperity. We act from poverty consciousness. So that is ajnana, ajna, avidwan. This verse 14, we will be stopping with this verse. It concludes the whole thread of thought here. So everything has been told now so far. Step by step, it has been explained that these are all the impurities. These impurities are not, they are not potently at work when we are at sleep or we are in meditation or we are engaged in some activity. These impurities don't disturb us. But when we get into the waking state, we get into some activity in the world, the transactions in the world, these are the triggers are there. Svavyanjaka anjanam. When the triggers are there coming forward to us in the world, then these impurities get triggered inside us, and then we react. We don't respond because we have not learned to handle these impurities. So that is the thing. Even the vidwan, the one who knows the truth, is not affected. Even in the waking state also, he is not affected because he knows the true self. He is standing and he is established his authentic self. And so he is not affected. But the one who is not established in the self will be affected, like that. A very beautiful movie, Thiruvalayadal, where this Nagesh is the actor and Shiva, Lord Shiva, will be discussing something. Nagesh, he has to participate in a competition. He is going to be cheating. He has to he wants money. And so he is going to dress up as a poet and go there to the court and then participate in that competition. And Lord Shiva says, you go, I will be there with you. And this fellow, he is getting, he's behaving in such a manner where he is very desperate for the money, but at the same time, he is afraid to go do all these things. And so that's a conversation of what is the nature of an Ajnani Purusha, the one who does not know, the one who is not authentic, the one who is not knowing the reality. How will they be? What is the cause for all our problems? The cause for all of the problems is not knowing this reality. Verse 14. Tasmadajnanamevatra sarvada dukkha karanam tatsvarupam hi jnatavyam vicharena dhuna maya. So therefore, ajnanamevatra. Ajnanameva. Eva means only. Why am I suffering? Why am I in a condition of poverty? Why am I being victimized by people? Why am I being hurt in society? It might be very cruel, but that is what all our scriptures say. Even in Tamil, there is this proverb, Teedum nandrum pirar taravara. Whatever is good for me, whatever is bad for me, is not given by somebody else. I have a belief in me that invites something good in my life, so I feel good. I have a belief in me that invites something bad in my life, and so I feel bad. So it is not because the object does not come without my permission. The good or the bad does not enter into me without being called. How do I call it? I call it by embodying it in myself. When I embody something in myself, I invite that into my life. So when something happens in my life, where instead of looking outside and blaming others and for this and that, when I start looking, oh, now what am I doing right now? When I ask these questions, we need not go so far. It is going to analyze. This text is analyzing all these topics, and very, very beautiful. It is like a flow chart. You can even, if you have a notebook and a paper, as you listen to this tomorrow and other, you can be ready. We can draw it as a flow chart, and it's like a mathematical equation. You can apply to all your problems in your life. If you want to solve problems, you can take that equation and you can apply it. And I've tried it many times. Like, I'm not just saying by chanting it and reading it. For nearly one whole year, whatever problems, every day this is my work. Morning 10 o'clock, after finishing all the work, sit down, sit with this book, Manah Sodhanam, take my rough papers and apply that problem, like apply these sentences and solve that problem, write it out completely, tear and dispose the paper, the problem is gone and everything becomes free. Tasmad ajnanameva atra. Therefore, this ignorance alone is the cause for dukkha. At what time? Sarvada. At all times is the cause for my sorrow. What is the cause for my sorrow? Ignorance is the cause for my sorrow. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of my authentic self. Ignorance of my true self, my true nature is the cause for my sorrow. Tat swarupam hi jnatavyam. Here, usually in the Upanishads, the inquiry is only on the self, on the authentic self. We don't inquire into Maya. We don't inquire into vasanas. Because inquiring into that, we don't want to inquire into something that is going to bind us. We want to inquire into something that liberates us. But this textbook is an exception because it is talking about impurities of mind. And so we are going to inquire into the root cause of the impurities of mind. Where do these impurities of mind spring from? Again, in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, after mentioning the 5 kleshas, avidya, meaning ignorance, asmita is arrogance or the sense of I, raga is attachment, dvesha is hatred. Raga and dvesha are from the I. First there is I, then there is a my. The my has raga, I like this. The dvesha is I don't like this. Then abhinivesha is fear. So these are all the 5 impurities. But the Yoga Sutra says so beautifully, avidya kshetram. This ignorance is a field, is a very versatile, very lush, and it's filled with a lot of compost. Where the trees of asmita with the branches of raga and dvesha and the fruits of abhinivesha or fear grow, the tree grows in this field called avidya. Here Pujya Guruji says, Tasmad ajnanameva atra. Therefore, ajnanam alone, ignorance alone, sarvada dukkha karanam is the cause for sorrow. Tat swarupam hi jnatavyam. The true nature of this ignorance. What is the true nature of ignorance? Is reality only. There is only one thing in this world, and that is the reality. So what can be the true nature of ignorance is reality. But here we are decoding this ignorance. Tat swarupam hi jnatavyam. I should know the true nature of this ignorance. How do I know? I cannot take equipment and put it under a microscope and study ignorance because it is not available for. You cannot take it. You cannot take space, take a bit of space and put it under a microscope. Ignorance is more subtle than space. I don't know space is ignorance. So it is a thought. You cannot put it under any microscope. So what can you do with a thought? Vicharena. On that thought, you place your attention, you place your focus, and you concentrate. concentrate or rather contemplate on that thought. Concentration is just not doing anything but just looking at something and giving your physical attention and awareness and keeping it steady in that point is concentration. Contemplation is going, it's a thinking process where you try to understand in your mind and you resolve it in your mind, and the mind gets purified as a result. Vicharena adhuna maya. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to do vichara. I'm going to contemplate on the true nature of this ignorance. So we will see from verse 16 onwards tomorrow. This is such a beautiful text. And as I told you, I'm not able to go past this text because it is it has got the answers for so many problems that we have in our life. So we will continue tomorrow. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मंगलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसोर्मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. हर नमः पार्वती पतये. हर हर महादेवा. हरि ओम.